Did you know that in Orthodox Judaism, demons are real? But wait, not the same kind of demons you may have heard about in movies or Christian theology. And what about Lucifer? Is there a devil figure in Judaism? Or is that just a Christian thing? Today, let's uncover what Orthodox Jewish scholars, sages, and sacred texts really say about demons, and who, or what, Lucifer is. Yes, Orthodox Judaism does teach that demons exist, but they're not red creatures with horns. They are spiritual beings, invisible, mischievous, sometimes dangerous. In Hebrew, they're called shadim. This word appears in the Talmud, the ancient Jewish commentary on the Torah. The Talmud, in Tractate Barakot 6a, says, "If the eye could see them, one would not be able to stand because of them." Wow, that's scary. According to Rabbi Yehuda in the Talmud, there are thousands of demons around us, more than we could ever imagine. One Talmudic passage even says, "They surround every person like the ridge around a field." But don't panic. In Jewish thought, demons are usually not the ultimate evil. They don't rule hell, they don't fight God. Instead, they're part of a spiritual world with rules and limits. So what do these Jewish demons actually do? Well, in some teachings, they cause sickness. In others, they create fear or confusion. Some rabbis taught that they whisper bad ideas into people's minds, especially when a person is weak or angry. Kind of like an invisible voice pushing us to make bad choices. But here's something different from Christian belief. In Orthodox Judaism, demons don't have total power over people. They can tempt, but they can't control. Rabbi Aryeh Kaplan, a famous Orthodox scholar, once wrote, "Demons are like spiritual forces. If a person strengthens their soul through Torah and mitzvot, demons have no power over them." So studying Torah, doing good deeds, saying blessings, all these are protections. And guess what? Even King Solomon, according to Jewish tradition, knew how to control demons. There's an old book called The Testament of Solomon, not in the Bible, but linked to Jewish mystical traditions. It claims Solomon used a ring given by God to command demons to help build the temple. Now that's a plot twist. Where do these demons come from? Some rabbis say they were made during the 6 days of creation, but God didn't finish them. So they became twisted, half-spiritual creatures. Others say demons were created when Adam sinned. There's even a story about Lilith, a woman demon said to be Adam's first wife before Eve. In some mystical texts, she becomes a queen of demons. The Zohar, Judaism's main mystical book, says Lilith causes nightmares and attacks people who are not spiritually guarded. Orthodox rabbis don't all agree on these stories, but they are known. Still, let's not take it all literally. Many rabbis say these tales have symbolic meaning, showing us what happens when we live without spiritual protection. Let's pause for a deep question. Who is Lucifer really? In Christianity, many believe Lucifer is Satan, the angel who tried to overthrow God, was cast out of heaven, and became the eternal enemy of mankind. This idea is widespread in sermons, movies, and modern media. But this image comes mostly from later Christian tradition, not from a literal reading of Isaiah 14. Now, let's turn to Orthodox Judaism, where things look very different. In the Hebrew Bible, the name Lucifer doesn't exist. That's a Latin word. The original Hebrew phrase in Isaiah 14:12 is Hallel ben Shachar, shining one, son of the dawn. And who is this shining one? According to Rashi, the most famous medieval Jewish commentator, this refers to a human king, specifically the arrogant king of Babylon. Rashi explains that the chapter is a satirical poem mocking the downfall of a powerful earthly ruler who thought he could never fall. The message? human pride leads to divine punishment. But there's another interesting opinion that I personally believe has weight, and it's worth considering carefully. Lucifer may be referring to King Ahaz of Judah, the ruler of Jerusalem who rebelled against the God of Israel. Why this view? Because King Ahaz committed horrible sins, according to the Hebrew Bible. He closed the temple of God, 2 Chronicles 28:24, installed pagan altars throughout Jerusalem, sacrificed his own son in fire, and desecrated the sacred space on the Temple Mount. In Isaiah 14:13, we read, "You said in your heart, I will ascend to heaven. I will exalt my throne above the stars of God." This could match the arrogance of Ahaz, who acted like he could take God's place in the very city of God. Many Jewish Midrashic traditions link Isaiah's condemnation to earthly kings, not supernatural demons. So in Orthodox Judaism, Lucifer is not the devil. He is a symbol of human pride, a ruler like Ahaz or the king of Babylon who thought himself above divine judgment. Now let's compare this with Islam. In Islam, there is a figure called Iblis, sometimes associated with Satan. Iblis refuses to bow to Adam and is cast out of Allah's grace. This story appears in Surah Al-Baqarah 2:34 and Surah Al-Araf 7:11-18. Islam clearly identifies Iblis as a jinn, not an angel, a being created from smokeless fire. Isn't that fascinating? 3 Abrahamic religions using the same prophetic texts and arriving at very different beliefs. In Judaism, the focus is earthly sin and moral lessons. In Christianity, it becomes cosmic warfare. In Islam, it's a jinn's rebellion tied to the creation of humans. This comparison helps us see that religion isn't just about what is written, but how it is interpreted. And in Orthodox Judaism, the lesson is clear. Pride brings downfall, whether you're a king like Ahaz or a modern leader who forgets humility before God. That's right. In Orthodox Judaism, Satan is like a spiritual prosecutor. His job is to test people, to accuse them, but he works for God, not against him. The book of Job shows this clearly. Satan comes before God and says, "Job only serves you because life is good." God says, "Test him and let's see." So Satan goes, with permission, and causes suffering. This is very different from Christianity, where Satan is a rebel. Rabbi Samson Raphael Hirsch, a leading Orthodox thinker, said, "The Hasatan is not a rival to God. He is the force that challenges man to rise higher." So again, no Lucifer trying to take over heaven. That idea doesn't come from Torah. It comes from later Christian traditions and maybe some misunderstandings of poetic verses. Let's pause and think. What does all this mean? Demons, Satan, Lilith, these are not just fantasy creatures. They show the ancient Jewish way of explaining fear, temptation, and spiritual danger. In my opinion, whether you believe they are real beings or not, their message is powerful. We all face inner battles. Sometimes our thoughts feel out of control. Sometimes we are tempted by things we know are wrong. Orthodox Judaism says, study Torah, do mitzvot, stay connected to God, and those dark forces lose their power. To wrap up, Judaism believes in demons, but they are not supreme. It speaks of Satan, but he is not God's enemy. And the word Lucifer? That's not part of Jewish teaching at all. Orthodox Jews focus more on personal growth, community, Torah, and the balance between Yetzer HaTov and Yetzer Hara, the good inclination
and the evil one. Maybe demons are just names for our fears. Maybe they're real. Maybe they're not. Thanks for joining this journey into Orthodox Jewish beliefs about demons and Lucifer. If you learned something new, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to support more deep and respectful explorations like this. Thanks for watching.